For everybody wondering what Michigan's problem is, it's not the players. It's this guy you're looking at right here, Sherrone Moore. He's the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great week. Hope all of you having a great day. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. We got to talk about a situation I've been thinking about the past couple of days, and I thought about last week, but I held off on making the video. That was up until Michigan got pretty much just blown out by the USC Trojans. And give all the credit in the world to USC. They played a fantastic game. I think they're slightly underrated. We should probably talk about them more. But we're going to talk about Michigan in this game. The thing that stood out the most to me was how USC, not Michigan, but USC is the team that ran the ball on a running football team? Yeah, if it sounds like I'm confused, it's because I am. Didn't see that coming. If you were to tell me before the season began, or even before the game, hey, Maddie, Michigan's going to have 109 rushing yards against USC, and USC is going to have over 200 on the ground against the Wolverines, against Big Blue, I'd say, yeah. Get out of here, buddy. What have you been smoking? You mean to tell me a Lincoln Riley-led football team is going to outgain a predominantly running football team in Michigan by over 100 yards? What are you talking about? It's nonsense. It's ludicrous. But well, here we are. You're looking at the stat line right here. It is not nonsense. It is not ludicrous. You know what it is, my friend? Reality. It happened. I'm not shocked that USC won this football game, although I did pick Michigan to win. I'm shocked at how they won, and I'm also shocked at how, I hate to say this, bad Michigan has looked this year. Even for my expectations, I didn't think that was going to be a playoff team, but I didn't think it was going to look anything like this. Let me explain. Michigan has been nothing more, nothing less than okay up until this point in the season, if you got to ask me. I'm giving them a solid 5. 5 is average on the scale 1 to 10. They're right at it. Not 4.5, not 5.5, right at average. Coming off of that USC loss, they dropped to 4-2 on the season, which doesn't sound all too bad, but when you look at their entire body of work, it's not too pretty. You beat New Mexico, which it's New Mexico with all due respect, a non-Power 4 school. You lose to Oklahoma in a game that, it says right here, was 24-13. It more so felt like 40-0. They shut you out. When I sit up here and tell you guys, hey, don't be a box score watcher, there's some times where the box score doesn't paint the picture perfectly. It's this game right here. Was not an 11-point game. If it wasn't for Oklahoma having the worst special team performances and showings you're ever going to see in the history of watching football, whether that be at the high school, collegiate, NFL level, it would have been a 30-point ball game, bare minimum. After that, you get a cupcake, you do what you're supposed to do, then you get a really nice win. I'll clap it up, nice little golf clap, nothing too crazy. Nice win over the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Nebraska, they're decent. I think we can all agree on that. That was a solid win for Michigan, so that one impressed me. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this team could do something this year. Maybe they can make some noise. You then play Wisconsin, who is one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. They straight up suck. They're not average. They suck. You didn't look good against them. You didn't look bad. A win's a win. You won by double digits against a conference opponent. I'm not going to hate on it too much. And then most recently, the USC game, we saw what transpired there. Wasn't hot. Wasn't a good showing there. The offense wasn't very good, but to be fair, they haven't been good all season long. It was a defense that shocked me and let me down. I know it's Lincoln Riley. I know it's USC. They got weapons. They're going to score the ball. But dang, there was zero resistance. The only thing that stopped USC on Saturday was USC themselves, the turnovers. USC's got some fabulous running backs, but there is no excuse for them to rush for 224 yards, averaging 6.2 yards per carry. No excuse. But they did. It is what it is. We could sit up here and analyze and talk about the game for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. The bottom line is, you lost. But here's what's concerning me with this Michigan football team. There's no fight. Not even to the slightest. It doesn't even seem like the players care too much. I'm giving y'all my outsider's perspective. When I watched Michigan under Jim Harbaugh, it was different. It didn't matter if they was up by 40, down by 40. They was giving it 110%, 120% max effort at all times, from quarter 1 to quarter 4. Jim Harbaugh held his Michigan teams to the highest of high standards, and yes, the players loved him. They adored him, but there was also a coaching element to it that I just don't get with Sherrone Moore. And the element I'm talking about, referring to, is not only the grit, but the passion, and that stuff goes hand in hand. Harbaugh was fully engaged, eat, breathe, and sleep in Michigan football. He cared about not just every single play, but every single detail on every single play. He was always analyzing, okay, what do we need to do there? How can we get better here? When the camera pans over to Sherrone Moore, He looks like he's lost in Walmart or something. He doesn't even look like he knows what's going on. Now I know what you're sitting there saying. All right, Matt. Are you trying to tell me you don't think Sherrone Moore's the guy? He's not a good fit for Michigan? And yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Before I say what I'm about to say, let me throw this in there. I said Billy Napier and Brian Harsin both should have been fired in year one. Here we are years later, and finally people are just now saying, you know what, Matt, you were right about that situation. You know when I started saying Penn State was irrelevant on this channel and I refused to talk about them for longer than 10 seconds until they get rid of James Franklin? I started saying that 5 years ago. 5 years ago. I share that with you to say this. I have a proven track history. When it comes to quarterbacks and head coaches, I just don't miss. That may come off as cocky as arrogant. I hope it doesn't, but if you feel that way, it is what it is. I'm just telling you what has happened on the channel the past couple of years. There's a lot of areas and aspects that I'm not great at, whether that's previewing, predicting games, recaps, etc., etc. You get the point. But when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks and head coaches, say it with me now, Matt doesn't miss. Doesn't happen, man. Doesn't happen. And I'm waiting for the day it does happen because I'll get up here and say, hey, I was wrong about that. I guess I do miss every now and then. But up until this point, haven't missed. Sherrone Moore is a very nice and good guy, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a good head coach, unfortunately. If it did, that means Billy Napier would be at Florida the next 10 years because Billy Napier's a good dude. He just can't coach in the SEC. Sherrone Moore is way too laid back, way too nonchalant for my liking. Maybe you like that in a head coach, but for me, heck no, I don't like that. I like me a head coach who's going to lose a screw every now and then and just go ballistic for no reason, like a Kurt Zanetti, Kirby Smart, a Nick Saban back in the glory days, and the list goes on and on and on. Even Ryan Day does it from time to time. Sherrone Moore's just way too chill. Now, I know what you're sitting there saying, Timothy and Bobby. Well, Matt, what does that have to do with the players? How does it affect the players? That's a great question. I'd love to answer it. The players of a college football team, basketball team, baseball team, etc., any college sports team, they take on the personality of the head coach. The head coach is the captain of the ship. He has pirates. Another analogy I like to use is the head coach is like Gru, and he has minions. If your head coach is a cocky a-hole, then guess what? The players, they're going to be cocky a-holes. If your head coach is a mean son of a gun that wants to dominate everybody from start to finish, then that's what the players are going to start acting like. Sherrone Moore's not like that. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a video clip of Sherrone Moore giving a motivational speech, a good one at that? No, because it doesn't exist. He's a nice guy. Newsflash, buddy. Nice guys don't make for good college football coaches. They don't. Everybody forgets because they just remember the last few years of Nick Saban when he was trying to enjoy them because he knew the run was coming to an end. Nick Saban was an a-hole. The players at Alabama were scared to even talk to him. That's how big of an a-hole he was. Like I said, he lightened up from I'd say 2018-ish, 2019 on. But from 2007 up until 2018, 2019, nah, straight up a-hole. You didn't even want to talk to the dude. And the players have told stories about it. They were scared of the guy, genuinely scared of him. So it's not some weird coinky doink that the teams Alabama played were scared of Alabama because they took on that same persona as Nick Saban. You're going to have all these Michigan fans say, well, Matt, Jim Harbaugh was a really nice guy. Yeah, he is off the field, but when he's locked in and in the zone, dude, he's a crazy psychopath. I put it to you like this. Harbaugh is more like Saban than he is Sherrone Moore. Do as you please with that information. When it comes to the head coaching profession, you got to have that personality if you want to compete for championships like Michigan expects to do. And Sherrone Moore, he just doesn't have it. I'm not going to sit up here and call for his job right now because that's pushing the button a little too soon, but I'm just letting you know it's never going to work out. You will never win a national championship under Sherrone Moore. Won't happen. For everybody wondering what Michigan's problem is, it's not the players. It's this guy you're looking at right here, Sherrone Moore. He's the problem. For all you saying, oh, Matt, you're tripping, man. You're out of your mind. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll come around. Let me know your thoughts down below. But